NHL Nightly with your host, the sportsman, a.k.a. Peter Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barrie.
What up?
Hey, man.
Just Rico now. We hope Pearlo's okay. We haven't heard? No news. Bad news tonight, man. I'm trying to watch all the games, but we got 14 inches of snow, like I was telling Rico before the show. But I did happen to watch a lot of the Rangers Wild game. They look good. The Rangers look so good. They had their third string goalie in, won the game 4-1. They have the number 2 power play in the NHL this year. And but the bad news is nice to see you, Andrew. Thank you for being with us. The bad news is I was watching a little bit of that Blackhawks beat down. By the way, 4-point night for Connor Bedard. They won 5-3, but Taylor Hall went down late in that game with looks like a bad knee injury. So, oh, man. Thank you, Hot Take Hockey. Appreciate you sharing the stream. I'll tweet this out as soon as we get Pearl. If Pearlo gets on, I'm going to let Rico talk a little bit about the thing. I really appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. We are going to have Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilersnation / Daily Faceoff. This man works with Frank Saravelli every day. One of the best hockey insiders out there. It's him and Friedman, really, and Chris Johnston, right? I mean, those are the big three. So, yeah, it's been a great night, Spicy 4K. So, just to go through the scores real quick, I didn't get to watch any of the Bruins Islanders. That was a 5-2 win. Boy, Boston is a wagon. Looks like Habs won in overtime. I did not see that. They beat Detroit. I think that might have screwed my maybe Pearlo's parlay too. Maybe that's why we don't have Pearlo. He's probably a little bit depressed because he had a nice little some bets on Detroit. I think he thought, dude, Montreal, they just play great every night. Like we were saying, Rangers won 4-1. Canucks, dude. I can't wait to watch this Canucks game with you and Hot Take Hockey on Saturday night. They are such a good team. And it's unfortunate the Leafs are reeling a little bit. It'd be really good to see. Hot Take Hockey says Canucks are a wagon and Caulfield is the best player in OT. I think that's probably an accurate statement. Again, 4.9 for Bedard. Games that are still going. Third, almost over. Stars came back. They were down 2-0. The Blue Jackets are up 5-2 now. That's a team the Stars probably can't afford to lose to. They had just lost 2 in a row, so no surprise there. Yotes and Blues are locked in a close 1, 2-1. That game's going to be in the third here any minute. Jets and Preds 4-2. That third period has just started. Kraken are beating the Avalanche 1-0. And late games are Pens Kings, which that's going to be a good one. I won't be able to watch it because I'm heading to Toronto. And Oilers Sharks. So the Oilers Sharks, the 2-8-1 Edmonton Oilers versus the 1-10-1. Before Yaremchuk comes on, I got the Oilers thing. I don't know if you noticed, I moved some stuff around in the thing. I got the original 6 banner behind me now. I felt like that made the most sense. We're going with the Boba Fett artwork tonight instead of 2 jerseys because I was going to throw like a Pens jersey up there or something, but I was like, no, let's go with the Boba Fett art. So how's your day going, Rico? You get to watch any hockey when you get home?
Yeah, well, when I was at work earlier, I threw a couple games on a couple TVs, and I just picked a couple 7 o'clock games to watch. One of them I threw on was the Hawks and Lightning, and the other one I threw on was Detroit, Montreal. And man, I guess a lot of people were betting Tampa tonight, but third game in 4 nights for Tampa, and I did not realize it was the mom's trip in Chicago. All the mothers were there, I guess, and I guess last year they went 2-0 on the mom's trip. Apparently, they play good with the Hawks mamas in the crowd, and even Corey Perry got a goal, and they cashed on that pretty good. And I mean, Connor Bedard looked awesome. Tampa looked a little tired, but that Red Wings game too, man. Montreal comes at you, and they play their balls off. Montreal, you can't take them lightly, man. They're not just gonna roll over. Like, they're gonna come at you every night, man. And that's what they did to Detroit. I was all over the Wings tonight, and just as I am Colorado and Edmonton, but the early game I thought the Wings, and I was like Pearlo, man. I threw everything on Detroit.
Yeah, Perlo, did you hit your Detroit? Since you're here with us, did you hit your Detroit stuff? No, I tried to bet with you. I was trying to at EBR, everybody rides. I was trying to go with you, but the fantasy app I have is pretty limiting. So I texted you guys because I wanted you to know what I had. And what was it that I had that I sent to you guys? I said I had Clayton Keller higher than a point. I don't know if I hit that. I had Jake Ottinger 2.5 goals. I think I did hit that one lower, so that's good because I thought Blue Jackets, but if Blue Jackets score one more goal, I'm effed. That game's pretty much over, so I think I'm okay. I Draisaitl with a goal, or one goal. I had DeBrincat over 8.5 fantasy points, and then I had Braun over 2 shots. So I think I would have won $400 on $200 bet there. I
got the Wild. I mean, it's kind of up and down. The thing that scares me the most is I have to rely on the Oilers. So.
Yeah, dude. Okay, let's talk about it before Yaremchuk comes on. We've got 12, 15 minutes before he's on. Okay, so I did hit the Clayton Keller assist. Yes. I have kept the Jake Ottinger. I did get 2 shots from Perron, but I had higher than 2 shots, so I probably lose that bet. And DeBrincat had 4 fantasy points, so I'm out. I lost $20. No big deal. Dude, Steve, you're coming in clear as day. Did you use your phone?
Yeah, I'm using my phone.
You know you can still use the background on the phone and everything.
Oh, really? No.
So I'm going to do some research on StreamYard and figure out if there's a problem with your ISP. But I don't think it's your internet, bro. You look better than me and Rico. You look clear as day.
I was just streaming with
I know, buddy.
I was just streaming with the Ice guys on
I think it's something to do with StreamYard and your internet service provider and maybe their server, or it's a setting on your computer. I don't know. It's weird.
The Ice guys are on StreamYard, so I don't.
Well, that's odd. But are they based out of? Are they in Michigan?
Hamilton.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm wondering. I don't know, man, because it's a server thing. So anyway, I don't want to get down into it. We're not. We're gonna have Yaremchuk. What are your thoughts about the games tonight, Perlo? I mean, I'll tell you one thing before I go. Let you go here. The New York Rangers look very good. Lafreniere is having a great year. I'm loving to see it. This is good stuff.
I was so wrong about the Rangers. That's one of my definite wrongs. Not because I didn't like Laviolette, but because I didn't know if they were going to respond to him, and they did. So I was so wrong about that. Yeah,
no, they did good. I heard a lot of people. I thought you were on board with the Laviolette thing. You seemed like that was a good.
I did. Yeah. Oh no, I love Laviolette signing. I just didn't love the veteran players on that team to actually respond to anyone, let alone didn't matter. But Laviolette he's got to be up there for the Adams himself. He's done a hell of a job with that team.
Well, he's even getting Zibanejad to play defense. Zibanejad is +5 on the year, man. This guy was a killer out there. So everybody's buying in New York, man, and it's good to see, man. The NHL is good when New York is good, man.
Yeah,
so that's good. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
I wanted to ask you, Rico, because the John Klingberg thing has been so polarizing, and listening to Kipper and Bourne today, they were talking a little bit about it, but they didn't mention Gustafson's having a really good year with the Rangers, man, playing really well for them. And I know Laviolette had him in Washington, and I feel like he probably knows how to use him, but he's a plus player. He's doing real good for him. And I just wonder, do you wish if maybe you didn't sign Klingberg to that deal, maybe not Reeves, keep Lafferty, keep Gustafson, probably get Gustafson for the league minimum, and maybe then you have a little cap space to play with. What are your thoughts?
For sure. I think the Leafs just got happy with a right-handed shot power play specialist, thought that their D would be a little more healthier this year. Now that Liljegren's gone, he's getting more ice time on that right side. And I think it's just, he's, like you mentioned the other night, he's just playing way too many minutes. Like, he should be playing the power play and maybe even a third pairing, like Riley, Brody, Liljegren, and McCabe, and then maybe him and Giordano on the third pair or something. Like, that's not getting the ice time he's getting right now. And for that amount of money he's making, man, he should have took that long-term deal when he could have, Klingberg, because he's not getting a long-term deal after this season. He's probably going to make half of what he is this year if he's lucky.
I was hearing Justin Bourne say what he was like 139th out of 140 and like goals given up in the league. I mean, I wonder if the guy's played himself out of the NHL the way he's played. So, yeah, unfortunate. So, Hot Takes with us, and I wanted to talk about his parlay. He said a dub parlay tonight. Rangers money line, Caulfield, a goal, Larkin 3 shots, DeBrincat 2 shots, money line, Bruins, money line, Canucks. Wow, so you probably won some good money there, Hot Take Hockey. He also says, great point, Gustafsson is a guy you gotta utilize properly. Klingberg is similar and should be paid less than $1 million too. Should be power play. Yeah, but it does sound like they are using him like very low. So we're getting a little noise from somewhere there. We are live.
What's that coming from?
I don't know.
But anyways,
could be me.
Gustafsson was absolute. I tried not to use these superlatives as much as I possibly can. Gustafsson was horrible before Laviolette got a hold of him. In Philadelphia, he was terrible. He literally terrible. He was basically Klingberg without the offense. And then Laviolette got a hold of him, and this guy just had a complete revelation in his career. It's unbelievable. He just totally changed his whole mindset. Was it just a coincidence that he goes to Washington and becomes what he became? Because before that, he was really not even hardly an NHL. It's amazing.
No, I mean, I just, I always fall back on sometimes it takes a while for a defenseman to.
He's 30 years old.
What is it, Rico?
Look what Hot Take Hockey said in the chat. He knows where the noise is coming from.
Somebody's typing. Is it me?
Is that you, Pearlo, typing off to the side?
Am I what?
Are you typing? Because it sounds like
I'm not touching anything. My hands are up here.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were off to the side typing something.
No, not at all.
Okay,
I don't know where that's coming from. No.
Maybe it's Jeremiah.
Well, I'm typing, but my keyboard's way down here. It's never picked up, so I don't know. That's odd. Yeah. I'm typing. I'm just tweeting out the.
Yeah, there's a weird sound.
Yeah. So, who knows where it's coming from? Oh well. If Pearlo's going to use his phone, though, I'll send him one of these. Might help him out. You're an Apple guy, right, Pearlo?
I just happen to have an Apple, yeah.
iPhone? You plug this into the back of your phone?
Oh, yeah.
And it's a little mic. It just helps pick up. Even though the new iPhone's microphones are pretty good. So
leave it up to me. It probably is me. Technology is like
he says, I know who it is, and I'm dying.
Technology is allergic to Pearlo. Okay, I just tell you that right now. It never works.
I will tell you though, you can set up your background and everything the same way with the phone. You should have no problem. You should be able to do green screen and everything. You shouldn't have to change a thing, man. So
but what do you need a decent background with when you look like this?
No, you look good, man. You look clear as day. You look great. I'm glad to have you on. It's so good.
When you got this kind of like handsome mug. You really don't need much of that.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I'm done typing too, so let's see if it goes away. So Yaremchuk, super excited to have him on. He's going to talk Oilers. So I was going to say, now that we got Pearlo, it will be probably. I think their season will be over if they lose tonight to the Sharks, right?
I don't know if
It's
the
gonna
season will be over, but any desire to care about the Edmonton Oilers will be over. That's for sure.
Well, so Kipper and Bourne had Bob Stauffer on today, noted Edmonton
Don't
guy.
listen to him, whatever you do.
He did
Whatever he
say,
says.
though, he had no problem seeing them win 40. I mean, in fairness to Edmonton, they've played, 9 games? What are they at? They played 9? They haven't even played 10 games yet. I'm going to look at the standings here. Or am I missing?
Why would you have Rob?
Well, they played 11.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you got to ask their producer, Pearlo. That's not me, man.
No, I'm not saying you personally. Like, why would anybody give that guy the time of day? It's like Sims. Like, why? Why would you do that? I don't know. Okay. It's like Simmons in Toronto. That guy just keeps on getting play over play over play.
Well, that guy's a writer, though, right? This guy's actually a radio show host and stuff.
Yeah, he was started out as a writer, though. Started writing out for it. Yeah, he's a shock. He's like a shock writer. He says a lot, like Simmons. He says whatever he can say to get people talking. That's what he does.
He did mention a fan called when they were 16-5 under Dave Tippett and said they're going to be terrible, and then they went like 5-21 or something. He said, I was wondering if you were that fan that called in. You liked Tippett, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought they should have been listening to Tippett, and if you can't play for Tippett, then you're in trouble. That's what I said. I was probably that fan. Yeah. I was probably him. I remember talking to Stauffer before. He hated Tippett. And I was like, well, if you can't play for Tippett, then forget about it. And we got in an argument. And he didn't like me. And okay, whatever. I was right. So too bad.
So goal differential is always a thing for me, though, for teams. And I get goals expected, but that shit's out the window if you're letting in a lot of goals. And the only team with a worse goal differential than Edmonton is the San Jose Sharks. So do we expect Edmonton to win this game like 15-5 tonight or something?
Yeah, I do. I mean, not that much, but I do expect them to beat them up pretty good tonight. You don't have to do much against. You just have to outwork them. That's it. As long as you outwork them, you're going to beat the shit out of them.
See, I wonder
if the Oilers don't outwork them tonight.
Dude, I'm all over the Oilers tonight. I mean, first period, -1.5, the over, like the points. I got Fogle to score a goal, like McLeod, Holloway, all these even secondary guys to be putting pucks in the net tonight. It better be like an 8-1 or 9-2 drubbing tonight.
Yeah, they can't even just win it. If they win the game 3-2, they might as well have lost it.
Yeah.
They got to destroy this game. Yeah.
Seattle's putting on a pretty good fight against the Avalanche right now.
Yeah, they're on the power play. They're up 2-1. Blues are putting on a good fight too. 2-1 against Arizona. They have 28 shots to 14, and this is in St. Louis. But they've looked pretty good tonight. Little bit I've seen there. And then the only other game live right now is the Preds Jets. There's only 7 minutes left in that game. It's 4-2 Jets. Kyle Connor again, 2 goals in the game. This guy just scores goals, man.
We did this. We took this Colorado game as as a revenge game, and we shouldn't have, because they already played Seattle and they already beat them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But I mean, Colorado's undefeated at home still, man. This is a spot where Colorado's got to keep the momentum going. This ain't done yet.
no,
I
it's
just have
not
to say
over,
this.
but
I have to say this, guys. I've seen Colorado get shut out 3 times this year, and once to Pittsburgh, who's not good. Once to Buffalo, who is meh. I mean, I think Buffalo is going to be fighting for a wild card spot, and I hope they make it for their fan base. And then the 7-0 beatdown by the Vegas Golden Knights. I could see Seattle winning this game easy. Obviously, Colorado's very skilled team. But I don't know, man. They're missing something. Something feels wrong. I don't know if it's the goaltending, but something is not there. They don't. I'll be honest with you. After watching that Kings Vegas game yesterday, which, by the way, did you guys get to watch that game?
Oh yeah, I watched it till the end.
Dude, the Kings are legit. And I expect them to hand Pittsburgh their lunch meat tonight. And they're legit. I mean, I haven't seen Vegas. There's only been one game where I thought Vegas looked poor, and that was against Montreal. And I will just say, and they won. Vegas won the game. So Vegas dominated Colorado. They did not look like they were even on the same level as the Kings. The Kings are 8-2-2 now. They got it figured out with Talbot, and all they really need is Phoenix Copley to be a 500 goalie when half his starts. And good God. And look, Kopitar got his 400th and 1200th career point, I think, in the same game, got his 400th goal. It was an empty netter to end the game against Vegas. Just domination, man.
Yeah, this is a bad spot. This is a bad spot for LA coming off a road trip, and then they just got home after Vegas, and they're on a back-to-back against Pittsburgh with Copley in net. Like, this is about as bad a spot LA could be in.
I could see Pittsburgh winning that game.
Oh, we lost Pearlo. I think it was him beeping. I think it might be the phone interference from the phone or whatever. Who knows? Yeah, because when he muted,
it never happened before, and this is the first time he used his phone. So
I don't think this is the first time, but like if he put in his headphones or something, I guess if he gets a call too, he'll get bounced. So that's one unfortunate thing about using the phone.
Oh,
yeah. So I don't consider LA playing in Vegas a real legit back-to-back. Those guys were all home and slept in their own beds last night because that's a 2-hour drive. So if they're a charter flight, they're landing at the airport where they parked all their cars and they're all home. So I don't have any doubt in my mind that I think the Kings are going to win this game convincingly. Pittsburgh just doesn't have the personnel to match up against them. If Pittsburgh wins like a 2-1 game or something, hats off to them. But yeah, I won't be able to watch it. I'll be in the air, or all that half of it'll maybe be over. So I already set Yaremchuk the thing. So hopefully his thing doesn't go long. They're doing the pregame show. Obviously, I think they do period breaks too. So I so appreciate. I feel bad when he comes on. I'm going to tell him, hey man, you never have to come on a game night. I'd love to have you again, but because I really want his insight. And he's just great with Daily Faceoff too. So he covers the whole NHL. So we don't have to just talk Edmonton. But I figured you and Pearlo would have some good Edmonton questions for him, especially Pearlo. Hopefully we get Pearlo back. If he comes back, if he comes back on the computer here real quick. Johnny Lazarus asked Louis Domingue about Fleury talking to him at the beginning of the game. And he said, it's actually something that everybody should listen to. He said it's pretty rare that two French guys get to play against each other nowadays in the NHL. So let's give them a good show. It was a great game, actually. I thought Fleury kept him in the game a couple of times, made some really world-class saves. The Rangers just look so good. So I didn't have him on my poll, Andrew. I guess Coyle had a hat trick tonight. The guest is Andrew. Thanks for being with us again. Appreciate you. The guest is Tyler Yaremchuk from dailyfaceoff.com and Oilersnation.com. Big time guy. So we'll have him any moment here. Still 8 minutes left to go in the Blues Arizona game. Seattle went up 3-1. So Matty Beniers Matty Beniers with the rip. What a nice goal. Is that the game you're watching, Rico?
Yeah, I'm watching the Winnipeg game as well as the Seattle game. I'm just watching.
Winnipeg went up 5-2 too, huh?
Yeah, Brendan Dillon.
All right, former Cap, Brendan Dillon.
Yeah, nice shot by Beniers there on the half wall.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, that was a great goal by him, man. They need him to come along too. Shane Wright in the lineup too tonight, eh?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Let's empty net for the Jets. Oh, what's going on there? Who's on the power play? Oh, the Preds. Preds on the power play with 5:58 left to go. Is that what you're getting?
Nope. I don't see them on the power play.
I've got empty net.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got empty net. Coyotes have an empty net against the Blues.
I like the Blues tonight. Like I said, if Arizona was at home, I would have took Arizona, but I liked St. Louis at home tonight. Wasn't convincing or anything, but I just had a feeling they'd win.
Sorry, I'm messaging someone. Yeah. Oh, we'll see if we get Pearlo back. I wonder what happened there. Oh, here we go. Here's Tyler. Without any further ado, Mr. Yaremchuk, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. And I know we got you for just a limited time. And you're probably holding your breath because, the world's going to end for everybody at Oilers Nation if you guys don't win this game, huh?
Oh man, I just wrapped up the pregame show over at Oilers Nation, and it is a tense fan base. We had the Crown Royal out on the pregame show. We were trying to ease our nerves as best as we could.
Rightfully so, my man. And hopefully I make it to Edmonton and I'll be able to share one of those with you one of these days.
There you go.
And right after you get off, I'm getting on a plane to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame from Alaska to Toronto. So I so appreciate you joining with me, man. It's just awesome. I almost felt bad that you did it on a game night. We'll have to do it one of these days where you're not on a game night, and we can keep you for a little bit more because you get to work with one of the foremost, hockey insiders every day, and Frank Zaravelli. How's that been going on Daily Faceoff?
Oh man, it's cool. I started to get to know Frank way back in my days when I first started in sports radio when I came out of broadcasting school, and it was literally just like calling him for his weekly radio hits and being like, "You're up in 5, Mr. Zaravelli," and boom. And then it was kind of cool how just doing that and then texting him to be like, "Hey, you're good to do the hit tomorrow," things like that. Our relationship literally just grew from there. That's how we met. And then when he made the jump to Daily Faceoff, I was already part-time at the company doing Oilers Nation stuff and things like that. So when Oilers Nation came to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to make the jump full-time?" I was kind of like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm already working in radio." And then when I heard Frank was jumping over, I was like, "Man, this is a no-brainer now. I get to work with this guy every day. Who wouldn't want to do that?"
Well, and let me just say this. I live and breathe Daily Faceoff. It's how I start my day. It's 8 a.m. here in Alaska. I love it. It takes over, anything else I'm doing. I have to be there. I always try to be a positive contributor to the show. I got the shout out from Frank one time, so that was pretty cool. It's so professionally done, dude. I will just tell you, as a guy who's starved for hockey content, and I recommend it to everybody I know. I just said it's such a great show. You guys are in the production. I produce everything here myself. It's you guys are bang on, just amazing good. I love it. So let's get into it. I know we don't have you for very long. Let's get into the Oilers. I know a lot of people feel the goaltending is the issue. You watch this team, you cover this team. You were there in Vancouver with the 6-2 loss. I know I felt so bad. You did the road trip. You couldn't even make a game out of it for you. What are your? I mean, what is goaltending? Is that doesn't feel like in the games I've seen the only thing to be blamed.
Like it's not the only thing to be blamed, but I think the frustrating part from an Oilers perspective is these games where you go and you just pour the shots on the other team. Thatcher Demko's facing 20 early on. Scott Wedgwood is facing 50 in the game against the Stars. Like everyone's facing all these shots throughout the game. And then you look at the Oilers crease and it's like, oh, they gave up 2 softies. And yeah, sure, there was breakaways and defensive miscues and all of this stuff. But it's like, oh, we had to watch the other team get all their saves and we couldn't even get one. Never mind the 2 or 3 we probably needed. So if their goalies would have been average, they're not 2-7-1. They're probably 4-5-1 if their goalies are average. And that's where the frustrating part is that they're not even average. They've been so far below average that it's just been tanking them.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. I feel for you. I kind of was a little head scratchy about Jack Campbell, though. I thought he looked great in the preseason. And the games I've seen him play, I actually thought he's been okay. I just feel like your defense has been absolutely atrocious. And then he wasn't playing in the game against Vancouver, and then he gets sent down. So I was wondering if this was just like a reactionary thing to be like, Skinner, it's your net, or what are your thoughts there? And right before I do that, just to really quick introduce, Rico is in Barrie, Ontario. He's our Ontario rep. And then my main man, Pearlo, Steve Duncan, he's a fellow Edmontonian like yourself. Hey. So he's in Edmonton as well. And he's a big fan of you guys, of the Oilers Nation and all that too. So I got him. We lost him for a minute, but I couldn't wait. I had to get you on. But anyway, you can answer the question, and I'm going to leave it up to them for some questions.
Yeah. So like for me, I think it is supposed to be a bit of a jolt to the locker room that like, hey, like this guy, they like Jack Campbell in that room. He's a beloved teammate.
Yeah.
Like, his
never
career
heard anybody say bad word about him.
Because of the message or because of the way you guys have been playing, right? So I do think it should give a bit of a jolt to the room. And I also think it's a little bit of a kick in the behind to Stuart Skinner to be like, hey, man, Stuart Skinner's no dummy. He can look at the numbers. Your numbers are very similar to Jack Campbell. The only reason you're not the one going down is because, well, let's be honest, you probably wouldn't clear because you're younger and your contract's actually good. But it's a kick in the pants. It's a wake-up call to everyone here. And I just really hope it works.
I mean, the biggest problem is half of the 3/4 of the hockey media had them in the Stanley Cup Finals and winning the cup. So, I mean, now it's like you're looking at, we got to make the playoffs. So, it's got to be frustrating for the fan base and for all of you that cover it. So
yeah,
let me open Oh, sorry.
They got to go 46-25 just to finish with 95 points this year.
Well, I heard Bob Stauffer on Real Kipper and Bourne today say he didn't think that would be a problem. But to me, McDavid doesn't look the same, and I do owe everybody in Edmonton an apology. I have Leon Draisaitl on my fantasy team. That's the reason he's absolute dog shit this year. So I apologize to everybody. I'm so sorry. It's because he's on my fantasy team. So Rico and Pearlo, go ahead and ask Tyler some questions.
I was going to say, like, if there's any team that's struggling this year, I think Edmonton hasn't changed their lineup that much that they should be struggling this much. I think if any team's going to go on a heater, I think the Oilers could go on it, just a 10-gamer, and we won't have been blank. So my question for you tonight was, it looks like they jumbled the lines a little bit. They spread out the wealth a little bit tonight. Who, if just one guy or maybe a couple guys, do you really hope steps up in this lineup for Edmonton being moved around the lineup?
Yeah, at Oilers Nation, we got nicknames for everything, right? When they put McDavid and Draisaitl together, it's nuclear. It's the nuclear option. This one, it's Nuge, McDavid, and Draisaitl all on separate lines. So we call it the spine. It's the spine going tonight. And I mean, there's a couple of candidates that I think really need to step up. I think it's Ryan McLeod and it's Dylan Holloway. These two are going to get minutes with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl respectively. And they haven't pissed a drop offensively yet this season. Like it's been insane. It's been ridiculous. They get good chances. They can't finish their chances. They fumble pucks in the slot. those two are getting opportunities to play with legitimate skill tonight. They need to come through for this team. I think there's a lot of guys who have had decent years. Fogle, Kane is starting to come around, but for the most part, there's been a lack of consistency in this group. McLeod and Holloway are two guys who they haven't ever even hit a peak. They've been in like just bad all season, and they're getting an opportunity tonight, so they got to go.
Yeah, Stauffer mentioned that they really wanted Seth Jarvis, but Carolina drafted him right before. And I could see him fitting in that lineup real quick. We have a Canadian gold medalist for hockey, Rick Smith, 2002 in the chat. He's a great guy. He has a question for you. What's up with Hyman this year?
So the thing I like about Zach Hyman is even when the production's not there, the effort's always there. Like he's always getting in on the forecheck. He kills penalties, big part of their power play. So I haven't had like a big issue with Hyman. Would you like a little bit more production from him? Like, sure, but he's far from top of the list when it comes to guys I have a problem with production-wise, and the effort's there. So I think he's just a bit of a product of when the team really, really plays well, he's a big benefactor of that. Because again, that usually means the power play's hot and he's getting points. It usually means McDavid's hot and he plays on his wing. And when the team slows down, he's just one of the guys because of the paycheck you look at and go, why isn't he dragging this team into the fight a little bit more? And I think that's fair, but that's also just not who he is. He's a complimentary player, and I think he's been fine this year.
Yeah. Pearlo, go ahead. And if Tyler, what do you have?
I think, is it possible? I mean, I'm just asking here, is it possible that the reason why Campbell was sent down is when things go bad for Campbell, historically, he has really gotten very negative and down on himself. Is it possible that it might have even been like affecting Skinner in that way, where you're just like, I'm just wondering, maybe just something I thought of today. Do you think that's possible, Tyler?
Yeah, I think it's a really fair question because that is something about Campbell dating back to his days in Toronto is that he is very hard on himself. And he's the guy who comes into the room and does that's on me. It's my fault we're losing. Like, guys, and he wears it, right? I think that kind of attitude, when it lingers for too long, I think guys kind of like almost tune it out in a way and are like, Jesus, dude, like enough of the pouting, enough of the saying this is woe is me, it's all my fault. Just be better. And I don't know because I'm not in the room if that's been a thing, but I think it's a fair thing to bring up that, like, look at Campbell. When he's played his best, it's been in the preseason or it's been when the Oilers have already locked up a playoff spot and there's nothing on the line. The second there's pressure on this dude, he crumbles every single time. I think the mental aspect is a big reason why Jack Campbell hasn't found success in Edmonton.
Hey, you know what, Tyler? I want to shoot back on that a little bit. I thought he was actually really good for you guys in the playoffs and thought maybe they should have went to him again when Skinner was struggling. I thought Woodcroft kind of made a mistake there because when he did come in and spell Skinner, he looked really, really good. He was playing fundamentally. Go ahead. I can tell you what.
My counter to that as well is think about those scenarios. One, you're getting thrown into it so fast that you don't really have time to think. And two, the team's down 4 goals in most of those hockey games. Like, he's coming in mop-up duty where is there a big save that has to be made? He made a couple against LA because they came back and won one of those hockey games. But I think he's a guy who gets in his own head where it's the lead up to the game and the warm-up and, okay, the puck's down. I got to be my best tonight. He just can't handle it. But that is a good point. Like, he was good in the playoffs for them. He did deserve a start too.
Yeah, I thought they missed the boat there. I think that would have helped him build some confidence. And you know, you could say Toronto, he struggled, but I mean, I think you could go back as far as LA too. I mean, I do feel like Jack's always been a pretty high prospect as a goalie. And, you know, as an American hockey guy, I follow that stuff very closely. We have a lot of great American goalies right now. Gotta frustrate you that you're going to face Thatcher Demko. You only have one more game against Vancouver, correct?
Yeah, only one more. It's very weird scheduling them that they stacked up 3 in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and to go 0-3. I wanted to ask you about I feel like Edmonton really hasn't even played any of the good teams in the Pacific yet. LA or the Vegas Golden Knights, they look like wagons. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Los Angeles Kings beat the Vegas Golden Knights last night. That's got to be a little worrisome too if you continue to not play a stronger game that we know the Oilers are capable of playing.
Yeah, like it just gets to a point where the math works against you, right? Like you can, and especially in today's NHL with the loser point and all of that and the parity in the league, like being 10 points back of a team by the midway point of the year, that's like almost insurmountable at that point. So the Oilers need to get back in the fight quick, which is why, like, I still have the chat open from my live show I just finished up an hour ago. Like, people are freaking out about a game against the Sharks on November 9th. It feels like a must-win game.
It is. I do think it's a must-win game for the psyche of the team, but I do think you're going to win this game handily. And I know that the game is underway, and I so appreciate you taking the time with us. And I did want to say I do feel like Edmonton really misses Klim Kostin and a guy like Nick Bjugstad, who's actually looked really good for the Arizona Coyotes this year. Again, Nick's a great faceoff. He's not a top 6 guy, but he's a bottom, and he's going to win faceoffs consistently, and he's a big body, and it's just I feel like that, he's a little bit of a gritty guy. I feel like he would be a good add in that lineup. What about Kostin? I know he was kind of a fan favorite. What are your thoughts there? I sometimes feel like sometimes these tertiary losses people don't take into account, and it really can affect a team like Edmonton where they're, it's a paper threshold where they're at with the team.
Yeah, like the tough part there is just the flat cap, right? If the cap would have gone up $4 million, then boom, you can bring back Bjugstad and keep Kostin around, but they just had no money. I mean, to sign a forward in Connor Brown, they had to give him league minimum this year and promise him $3.25 million next year with that bonus. So I would have loved Bjugstad back. Dream fourth line center on this team. Klim Kostin kind of woke this team up out of their midseason slump last year with his big fights and his physical presence and his timely goals. Like, he was great, but it was just like, who are you going to sacrifice to keep those guys around? Like, if you go look at the Oilers payroll, it's McDavid, Draisaitl, the $3-5 million forwards. And then up front, it drops right off, right? They just don't have enough money to keep all of these $1.5 to $2.5 million guys.
Yeah. I mean, hindsight being 2020, would you take Klim Kostin over Holloway right now? Because you said you're not seeing a lot of scoring, or McLeod, one of those two. Yeah. You could maybe make that decision. Well, Tyler, I so appreciate you giving us your time. And one of these days when you don't have a game night and you're not busy and you're not doing something with your girlfriend or, Frank Saravelli, we'd love to have you back. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. I hope we didn't keep you too long and from doing what you got to do. But I wanted to say before you go, and you're more willing to ask us some questions too, but I did put the links in the description of the YouTube for Oilersnation.com and for Daily Faceoff. If you're a hockey fan and you're not watching Daily Faceoff, you are missing out. It is an outstanding show. My main man, Mike McKenna, is on there from time to time. Tyler's on there a lot. In fact, I was sad when you weren't on there, but I was happy for you because I knew you were traveling and stuff the next day after the Oilers lost. But I was like, maybe it's a good thing that he's not on today. But I know, but you're the host with Frank, and you guys do a great job. Tell Frank, it's a dream of mine. Just to give you my background, man, I spent 25 years in the military, but I'm a diehard hockey fan. We've got the poppy up in the corner. We thank I served with Canadian troops. My wife is Canadian. Her uncle was Canadian Special Forces. So I've got family on that side of the country and stuff. So, but I love hockey, and my dream is to do this and be a member of the Professional Hockey Writers Association and something someday. I like you went to college for film, but was like, nah, I want to do this. And so I got hired by a company called Fans First Sports Network, and I'm their National Hockey League guy. We have some specific teams, but that's kind of my thing. And I recruited these two amazing human beings. Pearlo is a analytics guy and a handicapper. And of course, you guys get to bet in Canada. I can't do that here, but and then Rico, same. He's a casual bettor, but I got the Ontario on lockdown. he's a beer league player, so we like to bring in some of the aspects of just the game of hockey, that it's fun and we all enjoy it, because sometimes this NHL stuff stresses us out. But anyway, man, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I super enjoy listening to you every day. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's kind of cool. Like I talked about my relationship with Frank, just like texting and chatting with him. I feel like I've been talking to you every day for the last 2 years of my life in the YouTube chat. So I appreciate your support, man. I do got to run because I got the Oilers game PVR'd and I don't want to miss too much. See you, boys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tyler. Thanks again. I have a flight to Toronto to catch. So, wow, what a great interview, man. I hope you guys got to ask some questions. I hope I didn't dominate it there.
No, you're good, man. Jake Allen to the Oilers. Watch out. Montreal's got a goal.
That would be a really good move. We should have talked to Tyler about that. Yeah. And that's one that I think Montreal could afford to make. And you know, if I'm Edmonton at this point, I give up a first-round pick for it. So.
They have to, because Montreal can't send Caden Primo down to the AHL without putting him through waivers. So Montreal's got a three-headed monster there. They need to move Allen, and he's got an over 900 save percentage. Apart from the game against Tampa, Allen's been solid, man.
Yeah, no, Montreal's, they might make the playoffs. I mean, they're higher than the Leafs.
You're going to get your wish, by the way. The Oilers aren't winning this game.
Oh, what? Really? You don't like what you're seeing, huh?
No.
Okay.
What?
No.
Don't say that.
No. This team is playing like they're playing like they've never played in a like they're playing so nervous it's ridiculous.
Oh, geez.
Their psyche, man. I feel so bad for their psyche. Well, boys, I hate to do this, but I have to go to the airport, so we're gonna go for about 12 more minutes. So I want to preview the games of the weekend, which Rico and I are gonna be at one together. Because this is our last show of the week. We'll be back next Friday, maybe.
We'll see.
You're good, Rico. You're good. I'm just gonna thank Tyler again, real quick.
Dude, it's wicked how passionate people are in this business, man. Like that Tyler kid sounds just like he's just happy what he does, right? You know, he's got a great thing going with Frank Saravelli, and you know, it's awesome. And it's a great community. It's a great community to meet people in, and because none of us have met each other in real life, but we all talk to each other here, and we all have.
Is he the son of the Yaremchuk that played in the NHL? Is he the son of the Yaremchuk that played in the NHL?
You know what, Pearlo? Write that down and remember it, because I promise you this won't be the last time I have him on. I fucking love that guy. He is awesome. I don't know how old he is, Andrew. You'll have to ask him next time he's on the show, or you could
probably mid-20s, mid to late 20s.
No, yeah, I think he's in his late 20s. He's a great guy, man, and he does. Him and Frank. If you guys, so for you, Rico, it's on at noon. Pearlo, for you, it's on at 10. But for me, it's on at 8. So, and look, I'll just tell you, I'm a huge Pat McAfee show fan. Pat McAfee comes on at 8 in Alaska. I do not watch first 30 minutes of Pat McAfee show. When hockey season's on, I watch Daily Faceoff. Daily Faceoff is the shit. I love it. And my dream is to be a member of the Professional Hockey Writers Association. I want to be voting on some of these awards. And hell, you know what? I watch enough damn hockey. I'll tell you what, I had to shovel 14 inches of snow today, and I still caught in like 3 games. We figured it out. So, yeah, I don't like what I'm hearing from you, Pearlo. I like the chaos. I'm kind of happy that Edmonton is struggling, but I think it's bad for the NHL if McDavid and Draisaitl aren't in the playoffs and stuff. So, but they've definitely dug themselves a hole. So let's look at the scores for Mañana and see what we've got. I know we have. I will be at, barring delayed flight. I haven't bought a ticket or anything, but I am going. Hopefully, I'm going with the special friend. But I am going to the Maple Leafs Flames game. Then Rico, me, and Hot Take Hockey will be going to see Saturday the Leafs and the Canucks. The Canucks are a wagon. The Leafs are reeling right now. What will we see? But I will be at the Flames Leafs game tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, so Friday we've got Wild Sabres. What do you got?
I like Buffalo.
Yep, me too.
Okay, and actually the Wild are the underdog at plus 105. I like the Wild's game tonight. They lost by 3 goals, but it was a late power play by the number 2 power play and a late empty netter. I thought they played a great game. Louis Domingue actually just made some great saves. Hurricanes, Panthers. Panthers are a home dog.
I got Carolina winning that game, divisional game, and they just played a tough one against Buffalo. Carolina, they didn't show up. It seemed that game. Buffalo kind of played pretty good against Carolina. I expect a good bounce back. The only thing is the Carolina goaltending right now scares me a bit, especially
we didn't talk about this before Pearlo goes. Anderson's got some heart thing, so he's out. So it's going to be Kochetkov probably, which I don't know. I mean, and the other cat. So looks like Blues won that game final.
Kyle Connor hat trick, by the way, in Winnipeg, empty netter.
Jeez, man. Capitals, Devils. Oh, sorry, Pearlo. What do you got in the Panthers, Hurricanes?
Man, they're both playing. It feels like a draw. I'll take it.
Okay, home dog. I like the Panthers. The Hurricanes, just something's off with them this year. Even though they're 8-5, they're both these teams are making the playoffs. I'll tell you what, man. I thought the Capitals deserved the win the other day against the Panthers. I may be biased. The Oliver Ekman-Larsson looks really good for the Panthers right now. Really good. Okay, Caps, Devils at home. I have the Devils. Pearlo, who do you got?
All day. Devils regulation.
Okay.
Be careful with the Devils, man. They're coming off a long road trip. 2 of their top guys, Heischer and Jack Hughes, are both out still. I think the Caps can maybe clip them in this game. I don't know if I'd touch anything except for maybe, I don't know, like a first period over or something, but
Caps aren't playing too bad. Over.
Yeah, be careful, man. The Caps can go in there.
If it's a 6, I would consider the over. Yeah, I would consider the over, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Caps are plus 160 underdog. Okay. The game I will be at. The Maple Leafs and the Flames. I'm going to just go first. I like the Flames in this game. They've won 2 in a row. Maple Leafs have lost, 3 of 4? They're terrible at home for whatever reason. What do you think, Rico, being the Leafs guy?
God. The Leafs are going to either lose to Calgary or they're going to lose to Vancouver. They're not going to lose both of them.
You don't think?
No, they're not going to lose both. It's just a matter of which one. And I think they beat Calgary tomorrow night, and I think they lose to Vancouver Saturday night.
I'm inclined to agree with that more than them beating Vancouver right now, because Vancouver is a wagon. Pearlo, what do you got?
I hate to say it, but it sounds like another draw. I'll do an exact score on this. 4-3. I don't know who's going to get the. I'll take Toronto. 4-3 exact score.
Okay, 4-3 exact score. Maple Leafs.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
but
okay.
More importantly,
4-3. More importantly, it could be 4-3 Calgary.
Okay, how about Flyers, Ducks, and Anaheim? What do you think of that game?
Oh, that's easy.
Jeez. That's an under game all day long. I think Anaheim's going to do the exact same thing they did to Pittsburgh. They'll just kind of shut the game down and it'll be low scoring. And I'd take Anaheim at home in that game.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. So.
Yeah, I like Anaheim in that game too. Flyers coming off a loss to the Sharks. They're starting to come down to earth a little bit, but that's okay. Again, Flyers shouldn't be a playoff team. It really actually sets their rebuild back if they make the playoffs. Sharks, Golden Knights, final game of the night. I mean, I think if we're all not on Vegas, we've lost our mind. The Sharks are a plus 390. If they beat they're plus 390. The Golden Knights are minus 520. You don't even get. I wouldn't even bet on this game. It makes no sense.
Guys, the shots in the Edmonton San Jose game are 4-4 with 8 minutes left in the first
And it's
period.
0-0. I'm turning it on before I go.
This is fucking making me sick.
Penguins are up 1-0, by the way, so you may have called that one, Rico.
I'm going to bed right away because I'm having a bad night for betting.
Oh man, Pearlo, I'm so sad to see you. Okay, so Sunday.
You have your bad nights. That's the way it is.
Hall of Fame Day. We got Sunday. I'll go ahead and preview Sunday's games, and then we're going to call it an evening. Sunday, we've got 5 games. Blackhawks, Panthers. Panthers are playing a back-to-back at home. Blackhawks look good tonight, man. They beat Tampa pretty good. It was 5-2. Bedard 4 points. But the bad news is it looks like Hall's out for a while. What do you like there, Blackhawks or Panthers?
I'll take Florida there.
I'll take Florida all day.
Jay, you can go back and watch the video, and if you guys can't find it on my just go to the live stream, all my stuff. So everybody likes Florida. Okay. Stars Wild in Minnesota.
And that's a tough game. I got to go Dallas. I think they took it easy on Columbus and popped a couple quick ones late because they're looking forward to these games.
Yeah. That's kind of what we said was going to happen, right? They were going to kind of try to coast through Columbus and then have some energy for Minnesota. So, but they got Winnipeg first and then Minnesota, right? Yeah, that's going to be a close draw.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, that'll be a third game.
Wedgwood in that.
Oh, dude, I missed some games. I'm sorry, I missed games. What?
Saturday, you missed Saturday's games.
Oh, I went Friday. I went from Friday to Saturday. I'm sorry, I missed. Well, there's 12 games on Saturday.
I actually don't want Minnesota at home because that's Dallas's third game in 4 nights on the road with Wedgwood probably starting. I think Minnesota.
Yeah.
In the game.
Yeah, we didn't go through any of Saturday's games. I'm sorry. Jay's in here. He says, Jay, like I said to Pearlo earlier today, I'm kind of starting to trust issues with the Golden Knights after yesterday's loss. Don't know. So, Jay, look, LA is very good. You're going to not go undefeated the entire year at home. So I would not worry about the Vegas Golden Knights are going to be a Stanley Cup contender barring injury the remainder of the year. And so are the Kings. The Kings are deep. They're deep in their minor league system. Like, they traded Dursey, and he's playing great for Arizona. So it's like, because they didn't need him. And, so it
was just a really bad spot for Vegas. It wasn't a good spot for Vegas. It just happens. You're not going to win every game all year.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, so rather than go through the entire 12 games of Saturday, we'll just finish previewing the Sunday games. Canucks, Canadians.
Watch out for Montreal, man. Casey DeSmith probably has a net in that game.
Yeah, it's a back-to-back for the Canucks, too, because they'll just play Toronto the night before. I actually like the Habs in that game.
DeSmith was in net tonight.
But that means Thatcher Demko is going to be in net for the Toronto game, which is awesome. I really want to see Demko play. So
I think they're going to play Demko back-to-back.
Yeah, you could. Usually you don't see that though, but I get that. Blue Jackets Rangers. I like the Rangers are so good this year. The Blue Jackets don't.
If they weren't going to play Demko back-to-back, they wouldn't have played DeSmith tonight. Why would they play DeSmith tonight? If they weren't going to play Demko back-to-back.
Maybe Demko is getting a little tired, a little too much hockey earlier. Well, but they're giving him a bit of a break. Vancouver's on a roll.
Pearlo, there's a difference between back-to-back when the games are consecutive, though, and when there's a day off in between. So the Canucks played Thursday. They don't have a game Friday. So
Demko can handle a back-to-back if he hasn't played in a couple nights.
That's what I'm saying.
Usually what would happen is Demko would play tonight. He'd play the first game, and then DeSmith would play in Montreal.
That
That's
makes
the way
sense.
it would usually work.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's the way it would usually work. So why would you
Okay.
play DeSmith tonight?
Well,
I
they
don't
did.
know.
They did. I don't know
So
what to tell you.
who were
Didn't
they
play
playing tonight again?
Didn't they play yesterday though
Ottawa.
too?
They were playing
They were in
Ottawa
Ottawa.
tonight.
Okay.
So there had to be a reason why they played DeSmith tonight. Maybe they will play DeSmith in 3 games on this road, 2 games on this road trip.
By the way, Ottawa
I
had
don't
30 shots on goal to Vancouver 6, and Vancouver still won 5-2. I don't know why people are starting to doubt Vancouver all of a sudden. So yeah, I know, Rick. I'm going to be at both games hopefully. So hopefully I get to see you, man. We're going to try to do a meetup Saturday night. So after the game, so hopefully you can make it. If not, we'll try to figure something out. So okay, I feel like that's good for the previews. We're not going to preview the last Sunday game, which is Sharks and Ducks. Everybody liked the Rangers against the Blue Jackets, correct?
Yeah.
On Sunday. And we missed the Saturday 12 games. I don't have time to go through 17 games. So we're at an hour, and I told myself we'd be done in an hour. I have to leave in like 20 minutes to the airport. So I really appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you again to Tyler Yaremchuk from Daily Faceoff and Oilersnation. Check the link in the description in the YouTube chat to go to those, subscribe, leave a like, follow Tyler on Twitter at Tyler Yaremchuk. It's YAREMCHUK. I will not be back Tuesday. We'll hopefully be back Thursday of next week, but it just depends on what's going on. So I'll try to have I'm leaving Wednesday night, so I'll try to have a show Thursday. We definitely will be back Friday, barring an personal emergency. And then everything will be back to normal until February. And by then, Pearlo will be all boned up on running the show himself, and we won't miss nights, and Pearlo can run the show. So that's the plan going forward. Thank you so much, guys. Rico, can't wait to see you Saturday, man. It's going to be great. Thank you for taking the time off. Pearlo, thanks so much for making it and giving us your picks today. I really appreciate that. I know you didn't hit them today. That's just gambling. If you still win, if you're getting 75,
over, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks again, everybody. Really appreciate you coming. Have a great night.